a certain point, the things that I was enduring, now my siblings are enduring, and now they understand it. And they would be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't see it before, now I see it, now she's doing it to us. And I think there's some sense of guilt I have with that, where I was getting it so they weren't.
Yeah.
And then slowly, one by one, they all left, and by the time the last one left, she drank herself to death.
And we're back. Another week, another squeeze episode. Happy Wednesday, Lemon Drops. How are we doing on this fine Wednesday? Hopefully it's nice and sunny where you are. We finally have a little break from the rain. Hopefully, knock on wood, in LA, because it has just been...
That was my knock on wood.
It has been... I don't know if that's real wood.
That's true.
We'll say it is, but... Wow. We have an episode today.
Yes, we do. That's good news because people are tuned in.
What if we were like, we don't have an episode today, guys. Thanks. Tune in
Then we'd
next
just
week.
chat. I think we'd get through it.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we do have an episode.
We do. We have someone who, both of us, but someone that Taylor has been a very big fan of, and he has become a friend of ours.
Yes.
Alex Warren is on the squeeze today. You guys may know him from social media, TikTok, YouTube. He's got quite the following on there, but we are huge fans of him because of his music. His music is some of the most vulnerable, storytelling, honest music that we've ever kind of listened to.
Yeah, I think Alex was just meant to be a musician. His story is pretty remarkable. Devastating, but remarkable. When he was 9, he lost his father to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of sent his mother into a spiral, and she started struggling heavily with alcohol. And that eventually led to him losing his mom as well. I believe when he was 19.
Yeah, around that age.
Doesn't have either parent, but has an incredible outlook on life, and also is hysterical. He's got a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
Which is very funny sometimes.
Yeah, his story is truly just like one of resilience, and how, someone like him with the tragic past that he's had shouldn't have the life outcome that he has had, and how he's been able to turn these things into a career and something that, he has accepted, and he doesn't let it define him. It's a part of his story, and it's really just shaped him into who he is, and he is just awesome. We adore him, and I think you guys are going to love him too.
All right, Alex.
Hey.
Welcome to the squeeze.
Go right.
We are very what?
You just really cut right to it.
Yeah, I did.
We've been chit-chatting for like 20 minutes, so.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
It's an honor. I do want to address the obvious.
Yeah.
We are in another studio,
Mm-hmm.
and that is because we did not trust inviting Alex to our personal home.
Smart. Neither would I.
So we rented this gorgeous Airbnb and lied to Alex, and he thinks that this is our real home, but it's not.
That's that Twilight money.
LOL.
I love that you said that out loud.
It's too good.
Oh, man. Where should we start?
Well, we start each episode off with a little game called Citrus Got Real.
Okay.
This jar
I see it.
has papers of questions. If you want to pull one out
Sure.
of there.
All right. Drum roll.
It's our ASMR drum roll.
I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm. You should be.
I never have good luck with like drawing names and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather skydive or bungee jump? Is there an option to not do either?
I was going to
Yeah,
say that option.
That sounds like ass.
So you...
Oh, can I cuss?
Yes, you can.
Fuck yes. Okay. Damn.
Yeah,
I like,
rough.
so Kouvr, my fiance, went skydiving, and I was like, I could never do that. I'm so sorry. And I
Wow.
do it. It's terrifying.
See, I would feel like you would be a little bit of an adrenaline junkie.
I like adrenaline. I like
Okay.
adrenaline on the floor.
He likes
Adrenaline on the floor.
Yes, grounded adrenaline.
So
I think there's
funny.
something crazy about not having like control in some situation. Like I like adrenaline where I'm in control, and the only mistakes that can mistakes can result in me getting hurt is by
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Not like a
Or
fluky.
like if you're jumping
Yeah.
out of a plane, it could just take a parachute not coming out.
Yeah.
Which
We-
happens frequently.
We were just talking about this with someone that like when you jump, like it's not you pulling it, like you're trusting that the person that you're
You
tandem
also
with
are
Right.
putting
gonna-
your trust in that
Right.
person.
And bungee jumping, I've seen too many TikToks of people just messing with other people and like, oh, are you gonna drop? Are you gonna
Yeah.
drop? And my anxiety could never. But on top of it, I've seen somewhere like they go too far and then their head smacks into the water or something. I'm just like,
Oh.
that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one or the other, I'd skydive.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because at least if I go out, I have a view. If I'm bungee jumping, I'm like just looking at like the floor from 30 feet up.
Just like looking up at a bridge.
You know what
I
I'm
guess
saying?
I would probably do that too.
It'd have to be in Hawaii or
Interesting.
something.
Yeah.
That
Have
way
you
you
ever
go
done
out like
the
looking at the area.
Yeah.
what is it called? The indoor skydiving? Have you ever
Oh.
done
I
that?
want to.
It's so fun.
It's so expensive for no reason.
Really?
it
It's
is?
like $75 for a minute
Wow.
or $300 for a minute. It's something crazy like that.
Oh.
Jeez.
I
Yeah.
haven't done that. I
That's
did that
It's
as
not
a
like
kid.
$75 for a minute. I feel like that's not necessarily that outlandish. I think it was like $300 to $500 for a minute.
Oh,
Wow.
Lord, above.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not going to be doing that.
No,
No,
it was,
thank you.
It
Do
was
not
fun
sign me
though.
up.
If you need a birthday present though, that was fun.
I feel like we should do one more.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'll pull it.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Oh,
What the?
this.
Might have an answer. Yeah, other than recording this podcast in this fake house.
Yeah.
So Alex doesn't know where we really live.
I do know it. DM me. I'll send you the address.
When was the last time you did something for the first time?
I mean, the one thing I could say for you is when was the last time you did a front flip or back flip in front of 50 to 70,000 people on a stage?
Huh. I am going to go with July 7th of last year. Is that what it was?
Who's the first and probably the last time?
Yeah.
Can I ask, were you terrified you weren't going to land the flip? Or is it so embedded in your skull that I'm Taylor Lautner and I do flips?
It's a good question.
Right.
It does cross my mind that it's just realistic that one day I am going to get old enough and I'm just not going to make it all the way around. But I
I'm
know
23
that
and I can't make it all the way around.
it is amazing how much of it is just muscle memory. Like I don't like practice anymore. I don't stretch. Like it's pretty crazy that I used to do that as a kid and it still works.
You're the type of guy I could give a lightsaber to and I'd be terrified.
Oh yeah, he freaking spins the things and does the stuff. But
Yeah.
he had no intention on flipping.
It wasn't the plan.
You just miraculously did that.
Literally before he went on, because he was like really nervous to like walk out there. And,
I would be too.
And Taylor was like, "Do you guys want to do this?" And I was like, "Babe, you have to do it." And
Yeah, I
Blonde girl
thought
Taylor
about saying no to her when she brought up the idea just because of how nervous I was.
And then I literally before, because we like were enjoying the concert, and that was like halfway through, like when she does her little like acoustic set when she sings the songs, just her. So we like had watched half the show, and right before he left, I was like, "Babe, like you're literally just walking. You don't have to flip. Like you're not like there's nothing to be nervous about. You're just walking and waving."
So
And
it was
then-
your fault. You put the idea into my
I
mind.
guess I did. And then like literally the video of me like filming him, I literally go, and when he like starts to do his round off, and I was like, okay, well, I guess he's flipping. But
Yeah.
That's killer.
he like saw how long the stage was.
That's what it was. The door opened
and
and
you
she
don't want to
has
just
this.
awkwardly be walking.
I
Yeah.
was
You're half
picturing
mile.
me walking down half of the stadium, and I was like, "That's going to be more awkward than if I just take up the space by."
He's like,
doing
how
it."
can I get to the end as quickly as possible?
Ton
Yeah.
of somersaults.
Yeah.
Maybe do the worm
Somersaults.
for a little bit of it. The 100-yard dash, but a worm.
You like get on the floor and start doing the worm. Oh my gosh. Okay, Taylor has a important question he wants to ask you.
I do.
Oh,
Yep.
great.
I wanted to start with this because I can relate to it.
Okay.
Why are you afraid of seaweed?
Oh, I mean, okay. So
What's the story
that's
there?
so funny that you couldn't have paid me enough money to think that was the question you were about to ask me. It's just an ongoing thing that I was in the ocean and there was a sea lion, and when I was surfing, and the sea lion came out of nowhere and landed on my surfboard.
What?
But it came out from the seaweed, so like the seaweed was hiding it.
Oh.
And so that day I remember it scared the absolute shit out of me, and I just when I was starting social media, it was like put in your bio. I was like, what's something funny I could put?
Right.
I'm like, I'm scared of seaweed and I like long walks on the beach. So stupid. I think it's in my bio somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
Where?
I can confirm that.
YouTube.
Oh God. I need to change that. That's
But
embarrassing.
No, but I'm serious. When Tay told me about that, I was like, I need to ask him because I can relate, because I also, maybe you don't, but I do hate seaweed
It's
and
the texture.
all forms of it. I don't. If I go
What
in the
about
ocean,
landweed?
that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But when it's in the water and I can't see it,
Yeah.
I need to be wearing like booties, because there is no worse feeling than your
No
bare
way.
feet touching seaweed.
Yeah, you wouldn't like surfing. Like,
Ugh.
it gets stuck to you. Like if you surf, you'll like a bunch of the seaweed will get stuck to you when you're surfing.
Yeah. And then another thing is like my other fear of the ocean
Sure.
is just what's in there.
Yeah.
So also eating it. Do you eat seaweed?
Oh, I don't.
I don't either.
Some of my friends like will mess around while we're out there and like take a bite out of the seaweed and stuff.
But like if you're having like sushi
I like seaweed
or
salad.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't touch it.
Like when we
Really?
get sushi, he has to do like soy paper for rolls
Oh.
and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like
And she straight up eats those like
I love the
seaweed
crisps.
chips.
So that's how Kouvr is.
Yeah,
Really?
I
And I
love
think
this.
Lexi too. I think they both do that.
It tastes like you're eating the ocean to me.
Yeah, I mean she's a little island girl, so I
Makes
expect it from
sense.
her.
Yeah.
I'm an island girl too.
There you go.
I guess you're an island girl.
She's like
Literally
Staten
down
Island.
the- literally down the hall.
From New York.
Okay. Well, glad we cleared that up.
I love that question.
I thought we were gonna bond over that a little
My bad,
more,
man.
but next time.
We can bond over the skydiving thing.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like
Never.
you don't want to skydive?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No.
That was like one of my favorite things, like marrying Taylor, is like he doesn't feel the need to like do like you're adventurous in the sense of you love to travel, you like
Sure.
trying new food, like that kind of adventure, but he's not like adrenaline adventurous. And that just like gives me so much anxiety when people are like that, even when I don't know them. Like when frickin' Michael's flipping the things
Yeah.
up with the
We had
fire.
a hibachi night.
And our friend was flipping these fire sticks around and grabbing them, and I was like
Burning his
sweating
hand.
Yeah.
unwell.
Does he just have like no fear?
No, he has plenty of fear.
Okay.
But he values the idea of being the fun person in the room more
Right.
than the fear itself.
Right.
Where I value my hands not burning.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
no, a good laugh. I'll take it.
Yeah, so I was very happy when I found Taylor that he doesn't enjoy doing those things, because I would just probably keel over.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal me being here though. I'm doing my sisters are obsessed with you.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah. So
I was gonna get into this
yeah.
shortly, but how many siblings? What's your sibling situation?
4 including me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm like the middle child if there's a middle of a 4.
Okay.
But so older sister, older brother, me, younger sister.
Okay.
And my older sister and younger sister were like obsessed with Twilight. So it was like, it was just, I personally haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That is fine. If you haven't yet, I probably just wouldn't.
You don't like it?
No, it's not that I don't like it. I do. I enjoy watching them. I like it's funny for me because I saw them when they came out, and then I never saw them again until like a couple years ago.
Was it cool watching? It was like watching your like home videos as a kid.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
came home from work and he was watching it, and I was like,
That's
"What
so
are you
fun.
doing?"
Yeah.
He'd
And I
never watched
I
it.
literally was like, oh, these are kind of cool. Like I
Yeah.
haven't seen these in 10 years.
I know.
That's sick.
Some of our friends haven't seen it, and so they, without us, a whole group of them started watching it, and we need to watch it with them. I
Oh,
feel
that'd be
like
fun. I feel like I should watch it once I get to know you guys more. That'd be so fun.
you have to like go into it like now watching it, like as an adult, like you kind of have to like put yourself back to like
Yeah.
when like the time when that came out. Like I feel
Yeah.
like when I watch them, I'm like it's such like a nostalgic thing because I grew up reading the books and watched them, and
Wow.
it like has like a nostalgic feel to it. But
My cup of tea was Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I said that earlier, but I was talking about it earlier how because I was just obsessed with like when I watched it, I was like, damn, Lava Girl. I think I was like 11 when that came out, and maybe younger actually. I think I was
Yeah.
younger. I was way younger then.
Yeah.
When did it
'cause
come out?
It came out in 2005.
Okay, so I definitely watched it when I was 11, but I was 5 at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
But I remember watching it and I was like, damn, Lava Girl's so hot. And I'm like, if Shark Boy's getting her, I gotta be Shark Boy. And so what's crazy is like for like my birthday, I think I was like 7 at this time. My mom got me a Shark Boy like costume.
oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
like the one where you can like go in the water
Uh-huh.
and like have you seen it?
No.
Oh my
You know?
goodness. This was my childhood.
Yeah.
Literally, it's goggles and a head thing, and then you have a shark fin, and you can put the shark fin. You can wear it.
What?
Yeah,
So you look like a little shark in the
you
pool.
look like a shark in the thing, but and then wasn't there? There was toys in McDonald's too.
Yes, there was.
I was
that was
obsessed
cool.
with those toys.
That was cool.
That was sick.
Yeah, I was and that's
Do you
this is
have those?
yes, my parents do somewhere.
Oh, we should pull those
I
out.
was a freaking Happy Meal toy.
Yes.
Frick.
And that was the only like Jacob didn't get me a Happy Meal toy, but Shark Boy got me as a freaking
So
Happy Meal
sick.
toy at McDonald's.
So sick. But that was like my thing.
That's
like that
crazy.
was so I started doing gymnastics. I wanted to learn how to flip and do all these things and
To impress Lava Girl.
to impress Lava Girl. Yeah.
Is Kouvr impressed?
No. All those years of training just to do a round off back handspring, and she does not give one shit. She's like, "Oh, that's so nice."
Can
And she
you
gives
do
me,
a
like,
back handspring?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's impressive.
It's not. No, it doesn't look impressive. Me being able to do it is one thing. Me being able to do it with proper form like
Right.
you is another.
No, it's still impressive.
I was always just a rounder kid. You know what I'm saying? And round isn't very aerodynamic.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So something, as you guys know, that has been a huge part of my mental health journey, Taylor's mental health journeys as individuals and as a couple has been therapy.
Amen.
And that is why I am so excited to share our next sponsor with you guys, which is Cerebral. Cerebral is here to help you achieve your mental wellness goals with professional therapy and medication management support, 100% online. You'll experience the all-new Cerebral Way, an innovative approach to mental wellness designed around you. You'll get a personalized treatment plan from a therapist, prescriber, or both in a safe and judgment-free space. I love that Cerebral is 100% online because that means you have no excuse. You have to go.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, oh, I don't have time to go drive. It's too long of a drive. No, you can do it on your lunch break. You can do it before work, after work. And it's honestly just, it's convenient.
It's convenient and they have great therapists.
Yeah. And it'll just keep you accountable too. So we highly, highly encourage that you guys check out Cerebral because therapy has just done wonders for us. And we know it'll do the same for you. To get started on your path towards better mental health, Cerebral is giving our listeners 15% off their first month of online therapy, medication, or both. Get started at cerebral.com/podcast and use code THESQUEEZE to make 2024 your best year yet. That's Cerebral, CEREBRAL.com/podcast and use code THESQUEEZE. Offer is only valid on monthly plans. Other exclusions may apply. See site for details. Get going on that therapy. Did you know that there is a National Sleep Week and it's actually this week? So I definitely know what I'm doing after recording today's episode. But in all seriousness, sleep is so important for your physical and mental health. And unfortunately, a lot of people like myself truly don't get the sleep that we actually need. However, since introducing Brooklinen into my life, I can happily say that I'm falling asleep faster and staying asleep longer thanks to high quality sheets. something I wanted to prioritize this year is actually getting the amount of sleep that I need because of all the benefits that a full night's rest has for you. And it has been so easy to prioritize it with Brooklinen. So get your sleep back on track with Brooklinen's bedding and home essentials. Shop 20% off everything plus up to 45% off bundles during Brooklinen's Sleep Week sale, happening now in store or online at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com for 20% off.
Okay. Well, where should we dive in here?
So many.
Yeah. I think I wanted to open this up for people to hear that you know this because I've told you, but I am genuinely just a massive fan of you as I'm a massive fan of your music, but also a fan of who you are as a human.
Huh.
And so I've been so excited for this episode and to be able to sit down and talk to you. I don't even know where to start, but just like your music is so impressive, with how vulnerable you are in your songwriting. And like, I feel like we're going to dive into Alex's unbelievable story if you don't know it, but I feel like you have a song for everything. For like every story you have a song for, and it's impressive to me like how vulnerable you are able to be with that.
I try to write a story or write a song about everything I've endured, I think, or gone through. It's therapy, which is so funny that like, it's cool that everyone fucks with it. Like, and everyone's like, oh, this song helped me or this song saved me. And, I lost my mom or I lost my dad, or I think a lot of people are really resonating with like losing like a child with SIDS and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people are like kind of finding my lyrics about losing my parents and some retrospect of that.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because like when I went, I don't go to therapy as much as I feel like I should. I go into a writing session and I write all my feelings down, and then I turn it into something. I turn whatever bad thing happened to me into something beautiful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I everything I write is true to me, and I think that's what is resonating well with people. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not too positive. Honestly, I was kind of shocked that people like the music.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
No.
it's kind of depressing.
No, it's so good, but I feel like it's kind of hard to find like these days, like songwriters and like new musicians coming out with like their own stuff that is like from the heart and like
Sure.
turning something, that was tragic into something that helps a lot of people, which is it's really cool. And I feel like a lot of musicians like can't say that about like their music, and like it's so authentic and it's so raw, and it's really cool. And also it's great music too.
Thank
So
you
it's
very much.
it's
Yeah,
not just like a good
that
story and
helps.
all right. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how to navigate it. Like that's the thing. Like I definitely I wish I could say I started this career path as something that like, I wanted to help so many people. But it was truthfully like it's gonna sound selfish. I truthfully just did it because it helped me.
It's what you
Like
needed.
making the songs
Yeah.
genuinely. Like I wrote One More I Love You when I was like 14.
Wow.
So it's like that was my dad's death didn't hit me until I was like 13, 14 when like, my little sister was going to a daddy-daughter dance and she didn't have her dad to take her. Like those were things where like my friends were going surfing with their dads. And it's like, oh, can I come? They're like, oh, I want to spend time with my dad. And I'm like, made me think, I was like, I don't get to do that. And I'm like, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? So I think the biggest thing is once I start putting them out and everyone's like, oh, this is helping me, it turned into that. And I think that's really, really cool. And I also don't necessarily want to fuck it up. Because like when so many people are like, oh, these songs are helping me, you kind of get stuck in an idea of like, oh, I got to keep writing songs that help other people, and it's less about me. So I've been trying to like battle the whole, hey, this is important. Don't change it. Like if it's not broken, don't change it. Keep writing about yourself. But also understanding now I have a couple million people listening to these songs now.
Yeah.
So then it's like, how do I write them for everyone?
Yeah, there's like that balance.
Yeah.
Was there music in your family?
No, ish. The whole thing of how I got started in music, I was like 5, and I told you earlier, my dad knew he was dying before I was born, and before me and my siblings were born. We're all very close in age because you had to pop him out, and because he was dying. But So he was just rushing the process of seeing his kids grow up because he was given 2 or 3 or 4 years to live, and he ended up living for 7. And it's like that was the thing of
Mm.
he was truthfully like he had terminal cancer, and he beat it 3 times, and it came back, and he's like, "You can't beat this," and he's like, "Watch me." And so he spent his entire life A, trying to see his kids grow up, and B, trying to find a cure for it, which is very, very difficult, proven to
Yeah.
be. But so Christmas, I got a Fender guitar, this little red guitar. I was obsessed with the Naked Brothers band, if you ever heard of that.
Okay.
And I was
Yeah.
obsessed with the idea of being half naked playing a guitar. I don't know why. And my sister got a piano, and she was obsessed with like Justin Bieber and all that stuff. And it was really cool. So we all just, we would have these like band nights every Friday night, and none of us knew how to play the instruments. None of us knew how to sing.
Wow.
And yeah, that's kind of what got me started in the whole thing of like, oh, I could just sing and play guitar.
Yeah.
That's where it started from.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he diagnosed before you were born?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was diagnosed when my first sister was born, like the first child.
Okay.
So she was 1 when he was first diagnosed. He beat it by the time she was 4. He beat it twice,
Okay.
and then it came back. He got his kidney removed to beat the first one. And then it came back in his second kidney, and he got rid of it, I believe. And then it came back, and you get rid of that kidney, you're dead. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, oh shit, sorry, buddy.
Huh.
Yeah.
So how long of a span? How many years would that have been that he was dealing with that?
I never think about it like that. I don't know the proper answer for that. I think the only thing I've ever been told is that like he was fighting it my entire life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like by my 9th birthday, he died right after my 9th birthday, and it was like almost the point where like they're on their last, they're white, they're being wheeled around, they can't really do much, and I didn't really think much of it, but looking back on it, I'm like, oh, like holy shit, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, because you've definitely shared. We were talking before about how your dad was always like wanting to like do things with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, did you like even really know what was going on, or
I never I did not know. And even when he died, it's like the way I found out he died was I was woken up around like 5 a.m. and it was my mom was like, it's time to say goodbye to your dad. And so I went down, and he was dead at that point. But it was like,
yeah,
so I think at that moment I knew, but I didn't know.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
yeah,
That's so hard. Like at 9, I can't. So I have a very different story.
Sure.
I have not experienced loss at all in my life.
Wow.
Like I still have all of my grandparents.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Wow. It's so crazy.
I know.
Yeah, I have all of my grandparents. Like I knew multiple of my great grandparents for a while. I have not lost anyone very close to me.
Not even like a childhood dog or anything?
A childhood dog. One.
Ooh,
Yep.
You've experienced loss.
Yes. And that was
But you
rough.
haven't experienced like a
Yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
So I can't imagine today, me at 32 years old, having to process that. I certainly can't imagine what it is like for a 9-year-old too.
I genuinely like looking back, and this is important because I never think about this. I think it's really easy to put it on a shelf and kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is once he died, I don't know. I didn't really think much of it. My mom at the time was an alcoholic, so like she wasn't really present for my life. So I think just not having parents became really normal for me really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, like I can't sit here and be like, I like when so many of my friends go like, I couldn't imagine losing my mom, my parents, or my world. Like I don't have that relationship.
It was different.
Yeah, like when I lost my mom, it hurt, right? But like it wasn't, and it sucked, and it's like, holy shit, I don't have a mom. But I was sad of the idea I didn't have a mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never got the closure. I never got the I'm sorry. It was always like the yeah, and like my dad, like I don't think I was coherent enough to understand what was happening until after the fact. It's like so there's part of me that's like, damn, I wish I got to know him.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel really bad for my older sister,
Okay.
because she was in '96. She was born, so
Okay.
she's like 4 years older than me. So
Got it.
she was 13 when
Right.
my dad died. So I think she has a little more recollection of who he was as a person, which
Right.
is interesting. But I think because of all that, I'm so ready to be a dad at like my age. Like, Kouvr, my fiancé and I are getting married next year or next
Yeah.
3 months, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Soon.
Sorry, not next year. Wow, that's coming up fast.
Time flies.
But like, I think we're planning on having a kid in the next year and a half, 2 years.
Wow.
And like, I cannot wait to be a dad for the mere fact that I know everything about my dad because people told me about it. I don't remember much about him, which
Okay.
sucks, but he left home videos and he filmed everything. He knew he was dying and he knew that we weren't going to have a dad. So he filmed everything.
No way.
So he would like just randomly one day, just like go to Costco and get a big slip and slide.
Oh.
And just and surprise with all our friends over, and he was like super obsessed with like being homies with the guys around the neighborhood and stuff, or like with the kids I was friends with at school, and so just be this big fucking party every weekend.
Wow.
And he would film it all, and it was like that's the stuff I do remember. And so I think the fact that he cared so much about his kids and his entire life was shaped around having kids, and he didn't get to live that. I can't wait so I can give that to my kids, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think
really
that's
cool.
where like your love of like vlogging and like videos
for
came
sure.
from?
Oh, for sure. When
Wow.
I first started the vlogs, it was something where like I think I went through waves in my life of being like I want to live in my dad's footsteps, opposed to be my own person. And I think I teeter-totter around that idea of like, I still am my own person, so I need to
Yeah.
figure out not to be in my dad's footsteps. But he left all those home videos, and I would watch them like, this is so cool. I want to leave videos for my kids and like show my kids this is what me and dad's friends did as a
Yeah.
kid. And that's how it
Wow.
started, and then it evolved into something. And it's really cool, and I love the fact that I did that, because I forget a lot of things that happened in the last 3 years because everything has happened very quickly with COVID and social media. So looking back, I haven't watched those videos ever since I edited them. So like I
Yeah.
feel like in the next 5-10 years, I'm gonna go back and watch them and
Yeah.
see what all the
Wow.
stuff I did.
It's cool. It's like a little like full circle.
It's like a time capsule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Were
That's really sweet.
were your parents were they together when your dad passed?
Yes and no.
Okay.
As in, like, I think what bonded them was the cancer, if that makes sense. The problem was, and this is where it gets tricky sometimes, is my dad and my mom were fantastic, happy couple, amazing. He got diagnosed with cancer, and my mom got an alcohol addiction at that time.
When he got diagnosed.
So yeah, so once he got diagnosed, she started drinking.
Okay.
And my dad knew it was a problem, and she would like drive us drunk while we were 5 years old. So like he would like, they'd fight over it, and it came to the point where like he would sleep at hotels instead of sleeping at the house, or he would sneak us out to go to Legoland or a amusement park, and she would be cussing him out in the driveway. And those are things I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So I think it's different. I know that they were going through it, and like, I think they didn't want to get a divorce because they didn't want to put their kids through what we were going through. But then again,
Yeah.
like, these are all things I've experienced and also been told.
Yeah.
So like, I wish I could ask them, but that's kind of like, I think that's the one thing that sucks. Besides not having parents is, I feel like I never got to know them.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like, so your mom, did she struggle with like any form of addiction prior to, if you know?
I mean, all I knew was my entire life was alcohol. Like, that was the thing. Like, I'd
Yeah.
find it in everything. I think once I was like 15, I would like actively look for it in her cupboards and, and throw
Yeah.
them all away and flush them. And that was, that was the extent of it. Like, it's all I knew of my mom.
That's crazy. That how was like, sorry, my brain is like processing all
No,
this.
yeah. My brain's
Would
processing it as I'm talking about it.
would you like, for as siblings, like, did you talk about it? Like, were you like, was it ever like,
It was so, all right. So that's actually a really great question. It was hard because I'm the only one who knew.
Oh.
So they had no idea, or at least they thought I was crazy.
Oh.
So that was a battle between me and my siblings too. And for the longest time, I wasn't close with them. So the whole thing is, I got like, if you're not familiar with addiction, or if you haven't been around it, a lot of people with addiction tend to not want to blame themselves, and they want to victimize themselves a lot of times, and they are. But the thing is you need a surrogate to blame that isn't yourself, whether it's the world that you live in, whether it's a person that wronged you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My mom chose me as the target of, blaming. She would always say I'm the reason she drinks and all these things, as all I did wrong ever was find her alcohol and toss it. And so I was like, you have a problem, you have an addiction. I think I was like 14 when I figured it out.
She knew that you knew.
Well, I found a Smirnoff underneath the driver's seat of the car she was driving, and she was running red lights and she wasn't stopped. Like, it was very erratic behavior. And at a certain point, I was like, this isn't normal. What is wrong with her?
Yeah.
And then I would always ask her that. And I was like, what is happening? Like, she was very abusive too. So I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. And I always thought maybe she had bipolar or whatever. And I realized after smelling a lot of her drinks and like tasting it, and I'm like, that doesn't taste like
Yeah.
Crystal Kaiser. What is that?
Right.
So yeah.
But your other siblings didn't know. Even your older.
I mean, the thing with that is like I'd always be like going back and forth with my mom, and then I get sent to my room, and they're like, she's not an alcoholic. Why are you doing this? Like, why are you like she's this won't happen to you. You won't get hit if you stop doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's you. How do you not see it? And like that was the biggest thing. Once I right when I turned 18, the day of my birthday, she came into my room and was like, get the fuck out. And she kicked me out to the street. And I think she was expecting me or wanting me to come back as a kind of like a little sign, and I just never did.
Right.
Like that was the last time I actually saw my mom. So like that was like, I mean, we talked over text and stuff, but like
But
I
in
never.
person, that was the last time. So you're 18,
Yeah.
and she comes in and says you need to get out.
Yeah. And then she called the cops on me after.
Oh.
Yeah. She like, I think when I refused to come home at that point, she called the cops.
Right.
And she was the next morning, she's like, where are you? Get your ass back home. And I'm like, you kicked me out.
Right.
Like, I'm done. Like, I'm 18 now. I don't have, like, you can't fucking hit me anymore. Like, that was the whole thing. And so, I don't know. I wish I could tell you I think it was just one thing where she's like, she was trying to prove she needed, like, I needed her.
Right.
Or something like that. And
Well, it's hard to rationalize,
That
I
behavior.
wish I knew what was happening. Like, like, that's the thing where, like, I think the one thing, like, and I'll keep saying this, and it's really, that's the most frustrating part, is I have no idea why half the things happen to me.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Like, I wish I could have that closure of like,
Yeah.
hey, you did these things to me. And like, I never get to have that conversation ever in my entire life. I'll never get to have that conversation. That's probably the hardest part.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But, no, yeah. So like, it drew a wedge between me and my siblings.
Yeah.
And once I left, they started getting it. They started getting
She needed a new victim.
which I felt kind of guilty about too,
Person.
because at a certain point, the things that I was enduring, now my siblings are enduring, and now they understand it. And they would be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't see it before. Now I see it. Now she's doing it to us. And I think there's some sense of guilt I have with that, where I was getting it, so they weren't.
Yeah.
And
You
then
were taking
slowly,
that.
one by one, they all left. And by the time the last one left, she drank herself to death, which is just heartbreaking. The last text I got from my mom was, I'm attending AA. I've been sober for 2 months. I'm no longer drinking. And she died 2 months later, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The moment she tried to stop it,
Just
it's too late.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. You do talk about how she was such a different person, right? When she was drunk and when she wasn't.
And it was really rare that she wasn't drunk.
Okay. So that was rare.
I think in my entire life of knowing her, I could probably remember 5 times,
Okay.
which is crazy. But it's also like,
Okay.
yeah. But she was amazing, I think. And especially like hearing people talk about her, I think that's the biggest thing, is because obviously I knew a different part of her. But like at some points when you could tell she was like wearing off of it or no longer drunk, she was very loving and very like, I just remember like sometimes she would just like want to hang out with me. And we used to like sit down and watch like Modern Family together. And like we'd watch like Everybody Loves Raymond and Seinfeld and all these shows that my dad and her would watch. And I think it was something cool where like I knew my mom was sober when she was like, hey, come sit down with me. Let's watch a show together.
Yeah. Like intentional.
Yeah. Like intent. Like other than that, she wanted nothing to do with me.
Was that like hard for you to process that as a teenager? Like, how did you, like, I just can't imagine like
it's
like,
so
oh,
crazy
I
because
want to be
it's
with
so
you.
normal.
I don't like,
But that's what I knew was normal.
Yeah.
I didn't have another parent to compare that to. You know what I'm saying?
So true.
So like as I started hanging out with more people and once I moved out, I realized it wasn't normal.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, oh, like everyone gets treated this way. Everyone who like every one of these kids in my high school probably get this exact thing. And then
Right.
I started getting out of that mindset when CPS would show up to school and like which is crazy how many conversations I had with CPS. It's I don't, maybe looking back on it, I don't understand why nothing ever happened, or like kind of what it's really, really interesting. I never think about these things. I always just tell the story, and that's like the extent of what I go to, but I never actually think this hard about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff just, I don't know. I wish I had answers.
Maybe that's a good thing you don't
Maybe
have answers. I mean, that's like, our friend that we were talking about that, doesn't know his dad. Like, I'm like, does that ever like make you sad, or like do you ever like want to know who that is, or like anything? He's like, I don't know any different. Like, I didn't grow up with the dad, so I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So I'm like, maybe that's
it is weird how easy you get used to that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also, like, for 23, I feel like I'm a lot more mature than people my age because of it, though.
For sure.
Which is just interesting. Like, I had, especially when I got kicked out, I had to learn everything. I had to learn what taxes were and how to get a credit card, and what's a bad loan and how much interest rate is bad, and like it's crazy how like I didn't even get to finish high school. Like, that was the craziest part too. So like I just feel like I'm so under the bar when it comes to like having my life figured out, even though I feel like I have a grasp on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you probably have more of a grasp than most. I mean, we know people that are in their 40s and still don't understand. That stuff. So
it is pretty remarkable because I'm not just saying this. Like, everything you've gone through is what is going, like, I can already feel it, is what is going to make you such a good father.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so true.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I want to be a girl dad.
Yeah, same.
Dude,
Same.
you have no idea. I mean, I'll have a boy, like, obviously, but I want my first to be a girl. Twin girls would be so killer.
Well, that all lies on you. So
what? Everyone says that. What does
I
it
know.
mean?
Because
your
of the
chromosomes.
chromosome.
Oh,
I
damn.
know. I know.
You have
So
the
if it doesn't
option
happen,
to give
it's
the
your
X
fault.
or Y, and we're just stuck with one. So it's up to you guys.
Shit.
You got this. Twin girls.
Focus.
Just start meditating. Twin girls, twin girls, twin girls.
That's so funny. My chakra will get in order.
There are so many different kinds of vitamins, supplements out there on the market. There are so many of the same kind, and it's hard to find one that you trust. And if you're a skeptic like me, trust me when I say that our next partner has a multivitamin that will exceed your expectation. I'm talking about Ritual. Their clinically backed essential for women 18 and older multivitamin has high quality, traceable key ingredients in clean, bioavailable forms. I've talked about this before because Ritual has been with us for a while, but you guys know how much I hate taking pills. I'm not a fan of it, but Ritual's multivitamin is one, cute because you can see it and it has these cute little beads in it, but also it has a minty essence to it. So when I'm taking the pill, I don't have to think about taking the pill. I'm just like, ooh, this is minty, not, ooh, I'm taking a pill. I've been taking 2 Rituals Essential Women's 18 and older multivitamin every morning for, honestly, probably like 6 months. And I love knowing that it has key nutrients that I need and it's good quality. No more shady business. Rituals Essential for Women 18 and older is a multivitamin you can actually trust. Get 25% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/thesqueeze. Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 and older to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/thesqueeze for 25% off. Spring is approaching. It's basically here, and I'm so excited because that means the days are going to start to get a little longer. It's going to get a little warmer, but that also means we're going to be getting a lot more rain than we have already gotten. In here in LA, we have been flooded with rain. And luckily, I don't have to worry about this because Vessi makes waterproof shoes that are functional yet stylish. And you guys know how much Taylor and I love getting outside and being active. We love playing pickleball. We love walking the dogs, going on hikes, going to our favorite dinner spot, whether it's raining or there's not a cloud in the sky. And luckily with Vessi, we don't have to worry about that. We can just slip on our shoes and go no matter what the weather is, because they're cute for a sunny day and they're cute and functional for a rainy day. Elevate your spring wardrobe with Vessi's Stormburst shoes. Discover more at vessi.com/thesqueeze. Get your pair today for an automatic 15% off your first purchase at checkout and be ready to step out in style, rain or shine. That's Vessi, VESSI.com/thesqueeze. You talk about this analogy that it's not even an analogy, just a realization that is something I've experienced, but you talk about being at the hospital when your mom died, and how, like, you leave the room, you go out to the lobby, there's like people on their phones, people driving by, there's like things like life is still like
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
I'd love to just hear what that realization was for you, because when I started working in the hospital and my first patient died, like the first time I ever did CPR on someone and they passed, and their family was there, and then it's like, okay, go to the next patient room, and like you just like keep moving on, and
Life carries on. Yeah.
life carries on, and it's such a crazy like thought to grasp that, like, after this, like, we're all gonna go like do different things, like
Yeah.
how many other people in the world are doing their own things, and even just like in the hospital, like I would literally be like, well, my patient just died, like how am I supposed to go on like throughout the day? And then they're like, well, you have 3 more patients you got to take care of. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, is the cycle of life, and it's such like when you experience it, like how you have with, like, it's almost like an outer body like experience. Like, this is crazy that the world is still.
I think it's crazy because I had it when I was 9, and then I had it when I was 21. And so,
Mhm.
like, when I mean, starting at 9, like, I remember when they wheeled my dad out, they had the white sheet over him and whatever. And I think the first thing I noticed was that the ambulance didn't have the sirens on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, they're not trying to save him. Why are
Mhm.
they not trying? I think the idea that I couldn't fathom the idea that he
Mm.
wasn't alive.
Yeah.
And they were taking their time. They weren't rushing. And I look outside and I see my neighbors are all watching, right? And some are walking, some are getting back in their cars, some are getting in their house. My mom's crying on the stairs. And I think the biggest thing is it almost feels like an out of body experience. You almost feel like you're looking at yourself or looking around you and no one can see you.
Yeah.
And you're watching as life continues to go on, and you almost feel like cold and lightheaded. Like, I feel like it's the feeling. But then when I was 21, it's the same feeling. But I remember I walk out to this little balcony where everyone, like, you could tell just people just go there to smoke after someone just died. And I'm looking down and I'm seeing helicopters riding. I'm thinking in my head, someone's in that helicopter just living their day again. Like, it's every other day. And I'm sitting here and
Yeah.
I don't have a mom anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
that was the only thing I could think. I was crying. I was sitting there. I was like, what the fuck is life? Why does this happen? And I don't know. I tend to have a more positive outlook on it later in life. Like, I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I am today if it wasn't for those 2 things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think definitely wouldn't be with Kouvr. I definitely wouldn't be in my position job-wise if I had my dad around. And I think that's, in a certain way, I have to be thankful for as well, which is so weird to think, being thankful for your parents dying. But like, I don't think I'd be nothing about me, my personality, anything would be the same.
No, you would not be the man you are today, for sure.
And I think for the first time in my entire life, I've ever been happy with the person I am. It's like, that's kind of like, that's the content that you have to be with, is the fact that you had to lose everything that was so important to you to become the person that you thought you had to be.
Yeah.
Which is just weird.
Yeah. I always say, like with loss comes light, and it's really fascinating how, the human body with work and, with drive of, I'm not going to turn to alcohol. I'm not going to turn
Yeah.
to whatever it is. Like, I'm going to take this situation and, be better for it, and, use these things that I've gone through to better my life so I could be a better friend, husband, father one day. It's really just admirable of, like, you as a human, like, that you've done that. It's really cool.
Yeah. How has what you've gone through affected your outlook on death?
I
It's
was
like,
thinking about this the other day. I
really?
just saw, one of my friends just passed away.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Sorry.
I don't know. I think it's more of the idea, like, I don't think I've been to a funeral since my mom's. I've experienced a few losses since then. I tend not to go to funerals.
Mhm.
I think the sooner I think I'm just in the mindset of like it happens it's happened so much to me. Like, and I don't know why,
Yeah.
that I'm kind of like, this is just how life goes.
Yeah.
I think I'm more terrified of what happening to my dad happening to me. I'm terrified that I'm going to have kids. And I know the minute I have a kid, it is going to be my entire life, and I'm terrified that it could happen to me, exactly what happened to him.
Yeah.
So like, that's like those, I think more or less things like that happen. But
Yeah.
experiencing loss in some way, it sucks to say this, but I tend to just be like, fuck, that happens now.
Yeah.
Like I sit there and I pray and I do whatever I feel like I have to do, and to feel okay with it. And again, I said this earlier, and I truly believe it. And I talk about the stories of so many people that I've lost more than I go to mourn, because you die twice.
Yeah.
You die when you actually die, and you die when people stop telling your story.
Yeah.
And like, that to me is so important. It's talking about it, whether it's the dark humored unboxing my parents in a Ziploc bag on TikTok, or like when, I talk about my friends and the things they did, and, what was amazing about them and how awesome they were as a person, instead of, like, it sucks they're dead now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy too, is like experience. I've never had a person die from the same thing. Everyone I've ever met who I know who has passed away, they've never died from the same thing, which terrifies me.
Right.
Because there's so many chances of things I could get. It's a bacteria, it's a cancer, it's a addiction. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything to not get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Was you not drinking an active choice, or like, when did you make that decision? Was there a moment there, or?
My funny answer to that is Diet Coke tastes better. And then my not funny answer is I genuinely, here's the thing. I have no positive experience with alcohol. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, for me, growing up, my only recollection, because I wasn't allowed to drink growing up, obviously. So like, my only recollection of drinking is when I would taste my mom's drinks, which, by the way, were 80% vodka and 10% cranberry juice.
Right.
So like that, or sorry, 20% but you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have that. I never had like let's go have a beer with the boys at a high school party. Like, let's go like, get drunk and go jump off a cliff. Like, I never had any of those like cool, fun high school moments of drinking. I was too busy getting fucking berated by my mom.
Right.
So like, when I became 21 and it was time to drink, like, I had 2 beers and I was drunk, and I was like, awesome. I was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But I feel like most people drink to have fun with their friends who are also drinking, and, like, let loose. I'm not against it. I'm never going to be like, oh, I don't want any of that. Like, I'll try someone's drink if they're like, oh, try this. It's really yummy.
Right.
But I've never sat down at like a dinner or gone to a party and been like, wow, a beer or a Moscato sounds really nice right now.
Right.
Like, it's always like, can I get a Diet Coke and a water?
Yeah.
That's
That makes
like
sense.
that's like me. I do drink, but I've had family members that have struggled with addiction, and
Sure.
like, I've never like been drunk. Like,
Some
I don't.
people are kind of just like, oh, no, don't put alcohol by them. And I'm like, I'm not like terrified of it. Like, I'll drink it, but like, I won't. I just personally won't order one for myself.
Yeah. I feel like I have more fun sober too. I always tell people that.
Well, I like being the DD. Every one of my friends drink, so it's like, and none of them I feel like are mature enough to figure out who's driving once they get drunk.
Yeah.
So it's nice to like, they always know, all right, Alex is driving.
Yeah.
They don't even have to ask it anymore. They kind of just, Alex, you coming?
Yeah. I'm always that with, my friends kind of know how to handle their alcohol a little better now. But
A little better.
when I was younger, I was the one that was just like holding the hair and, was in charge of that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I put a song of yours on my Instagram story a while back.
Dude, when you did that, I was fanboying so hard. I remember running through the house. You'll never guess who just reposted my song.
Stop. Dude, no, I've like become such a serious fan of yours in the last like 6 months.
I'm always never going to believe you, but I love it.
But when I put it up, I didn't know what it was about.
Okay.
I didn't know it had like personal meaning to you or anything. I just
Yeah.
thought it was a beautiful song. And then you shared with me what that song is about.
Yeah.
What
Would
song was it?
Change your mind?
Okay. Sorry. Just making sure I was
Do
on the
you
same
have
page.
do you talk about?
I don't think I've ever talked about it.
Oh, do you not want to talk?
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I wrote "Change Your Mind" about my brother. My brother started going to therapy, and the thing about me and my siblings is, I think all of them, we never talk about it. Like, that's the thing. I never sit in a round table and be like, let's all talk about how our parents' loss affected us. We've never chatted about it. And my brother started going to therapy, and my brother's always been kind of like, not very happy with life, I think.
He's younger.
He's older.
He's older.
Yeah. So him and I are 16 months apart.
Okay.
Or 18 months apart.
Oh, wow.
18 months apart. So literally
Close.
right when I popped up, she got pregnant again.
Wow.
But yeah, he struggled a lot with his mental health.
Yeah.
And, he went to therapy and told me his therapist was telling him that he needs to be honest with things that have happened in the past. And, he started telling me a lot of things that he tried to do. And I think the biggest thing for me was I kind of sat there and I was just like, I remember there's so many times where I've had to like talk him off a cliff kind of vibe. Not like actually a physical cliff, but
Yeah.
like, on the phone or in person and be like, it does get better, I promise. And
Mhm.
I think it's really difficult for people who take loss. There's two ways to take loss, in my opinion. And there's a way of looking at it better. Like, oh, hey, this happened and there's light with loss. And there's people who go, why me?
Yeah.
And my brother has always been an extreme why me.
Yeah.
And so I remember I went into a session that day after talking with my brother, and I was like, I have to get this off my chest. And
Wow.
my buddy started playing a piano thing, and immediately we came up with "Change Your Mind." And it's I think really powerful because I feel like there's not many songs that talk about it's not too late,
Yeah.
Like so many times there's so many amazing stories about people talking about how it's not too late, but I felt like there wasn't a piece of work or a song that really amplifies the idea that it's okay that you feel that way.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I'm not telling you not to feel that way.
Yeah.
Where so many people are like, don't do that. There's so much to live. Fuck all of that.
Yeah.
But stay a while. And that's like the whole, that's what I really appreciate about it. I'm not telling people about, life gets better, all these different things. I'm telling you just people care about you. Stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really such a good song.
Thank you very much.
There's so many lyrics in it that
I never perform it live.
Wow.
I'm terrified because I cry every time I sing it. Out of
Yeah.
all my songs, that's the only one that I break down and bawl my eyes out.
Wow.
Why do you think that is?
I think for the mere fact that everything I write about is about people who are no longer in my life.
Mm.
And that's the one song that I've written that's out that is about someone in my life that has happened and someone I've stopped, where I think when I sing that song, I think about all the people that I haven't been able to.
Mm.
And I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is like, as much as I think this song is helping it, there's people where it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys close?
Yeah. Grant, I'd like to say I'm close with all my siblings, but I think me and my brother just have that relationship. I think it's, when he came back from the military, he's a Marine. So when he came back from boot camp, is when he realized what my mom was doing to me. And I remember he was not afraid to punch back and like help me out. Not help me out, but like, he got her off me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he, she was one night wailing on me, like just straight in the face. And I remember he came out of nowhere and just like got her off me. And I was just like, that's never happened.
Mm.
What did you tell him about the song before you released it?
Yeah. I
But-
played it for him nonchalantly in the car. I didn't even tell him what it was about. He was in
No
the back
way.
seat. And I didn't record it or anything. I just played it for him. And
Shut
I just
up.
remember he was, I think, slightly pissed that I wrote him a song, and then slightly like he was bawling his eyes out.
Wow.
He's just not an emotional guy. He's like the classic Marine, fucking hardcore,
Mm.
like talks like this. Don't get near me. Feelings, you can't weaponize feelings and like all that stuff. And so, but he's a little softy. He just doesn't like to admit it.
Oh man.
That's
know.
so. And do you feel like that song was probably like the most like cathartic, or like, I don't want to say your favorite one to write, but like
Was there one that
Yeah,
felt
was
the
there?
most cathartic to
Yeah.
get out?
I mean, it could be all of them, but
I think "Save You a Seat"
Dude,
is my best song I've ever written.
I agree. I agree.
I love it. I can't wait to show after this. After we're done, I'm going to show you all the songs. But I think there's two songs: "You'll Be All Right, Kid," which I'll play you, and "Save You a Seat." "Save You a Seat" is about how I'm getting married and my parents aren't going to be there, and I'm going to bawl like a little fucking baby at my wedding. But at the front row, there's a seat that's reserved for my parents, and I think that's something like. I think it's just so powerful, the fact that, I'm saving them a seat my entire life. And like, I have a song where it's not just about my wedding. It's about when I have my kid, like there's going to be an empty seat in that delivery room. And it's like, my dad was there and my mom's there watching me have a kid. I think there's something so powerful about this. Or when my kid walks for the first time and I'm going to be sitting there like, is anyone seeing this? And I'm going to be able to say, my parents are watching down and sing it. And so I think that in itself, just having that song is so important to me because I've always thought of it. And then "You'll Be All Right, Kid" is just a song about how if I could talk to my younger self and tell him it was okay. And I think that is so important because when I was 13, 14, 15, I genuinely could never have guessed I'd be where I am today.
Yeah.
And to be able to write a song and have a conversation with my younger self, I think is so, so, so important as well. So I would have to put it between those two songs, which you've heard "Save You a Seat," but you haven't heard "You'll Be All Right."
This guy plays it every time we get in the car.
No way.
I'm dead serious.
I'm sorry. You'll be over it soon.
I don't know if I will. I mean, by the time this episode comes out, the song will be coming out
Almost
soon.
Soon. Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah,
The
few days.
release date will be out already when
Okay.
this comes out. So yeah.
But it is coming out within days.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, it is.
Now you don't have to play it from your freaking files on your phone. You
Right.
can actually go on Spotify.
That's fun,
Play
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I mean,
It's-
hopefully I get my shit together and it's actually out in a few days.
and you are actually going to have a seat at the wedding.
Yeah.
when you guys were texting about it, Taylor was like, "I can't go. I can't go to the wedding." I was like, "What are you
He's like-
talking about?" He's like, "I can't go. The
I go, if
seats-
I have to be watching him and Kouvr up there and look at the seat, I will just.
He's like, "I can't go."
I'm gonna bawl when I see her walking down because I'm not gonna see her dress until that moment. And then I'm gonna bawl when I see that seat. And then right next to, I know my brother's gonna be crying. So the minute I see him crying,
destroy you.
the seat. My biggest thing is I don't want to be embarrassed. Like there's 300 people going to be at that wedding, 350 people going to be at that wedding.
Wow.
It's a big wedding.
Jeez.
I don't want to just break down because when I cry, the one thing about me is I do not cry. But when I do,
It's ugly.
it's so ugly.
It's a
It
mess.
isn't like a cute like
It's not like
it's not a cute like it's a like it's a fucking full body breakdown. Like I'm not even kidding. When I played a show, I played a private Hampton show that like some billionaire asked me to do for his kid. And I played it for 20 people, 30 people. They did not give one fuck about me. Just the two girls in the front were like, "Yeah, Alex." No one else in there. Like they all had the net worth. They could enslave me at that like that net worth. Like this guy had a $20 million house and it was his, "Oh, I just bought it for fun" house.
Yep.
Good.
So I'm playing it and I'm literally telling the story and I start bawling and none of them are paying attention to me except for those two girls.
Stop.
And I drop on the floor crying and I'm like, "Get this fucking shit together. This is embarrassing." And it took me like
Stop.
3 minutes of just me sitting there sobbing. And I get up and perform this song and I'm like, this is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Funny thing about the wedding though. So we didn't talk about this yet, but I'm going to get it out because I think it's always fun to mention. I've been shot and I have a bullet in my lung.
Dude, I saw this.
Yeah.
What?
The guy who's officiating the wedding is the guy who shot me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
So yeah,
gosh.
he accidentally shot you.
Yes.
Is he a friend's dad? Who is?
Yes. So my childhood friend, Eiley, her dad. Keep in mind, her dad at that time, Kouvr and I were homeless together, sleeping in cars, and he gave me a car to sleep in. At the time, I was sleeping in a bunch of my friends' cars. And then he would always be like, "You and Kouvr have money?" And I'm like, "We'll figure it out." And then he would just hand me a bunch of cash. Like he genuinely just, I didn't ask him. I didn't have to ask him. He would give me advice. And, that was something that was really important to me. But he was I think he just didn't understand like the whole firearm thing. And like, it was just one of those like 177 grains, which you could go buy, big 5.
Right.
Yeah. And it meant a hunt deer. And so I think it's a little bigger than 177. I don't know exactly the caliber. But it was just in the backyard. And, the kids were shooting it, and then it was unloaded. And then one of the kids loaded it and then forgot to shoot it. And when he grabbed it, he thought it was unloaded, and he goes, run. And like just fucking around. We're filming a vlog. He wanted to be funny in front of the camera. And so it's on camera.
What?
I get shot on camera, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm bleeding internally. Once we get to the hospital, everything's whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to live or whatever. I'm 19 at the time, or 18 or some. I just turned it. This is right after I got kicked out. It was like 3 months after.
Oh boy.
And I delete the footage. I'm like, he's not going down for this. And I made up a whole Ricochet story. And I just started telling the real story like maybe a year ago.
Stop.
Yeah.
And he's marrying you guys.
I know.
Full circle.
Yeah. I thought it'd be so fun. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh man.
He's
That's
also like
incredible.
such like he's so obsessed with like the life that I now have, considering he saw
Oh, I
before.
bet.
So like whenever I have like a show and there's like hundreds of people, he goes, "Who the fuck are these people here for?"
Right.
I'm like,
It's not you.
right? And like he'll randomly like bring like fans to my dressing room, and he's like, "You guys want a picture with Alex?"
Stop.
He's like, "You can't go Hollywood on me now."
So
And it's fun.
cute.
So it's really cool. It's like it's almost like he keeps me in check, which is really nice.
Oh man. That's really cool.
Oh my gosh, it's too good.
I literally am
It's
only doing
too
it for the
good.
plot. Like the plot of the fact that like that's the coolest part.
Yeah, that's a full circle moment
He's
right
gotta
there.
incorporate that into his
Oh,
speech.
he will.
Okay, good.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be way too good.
Mhm.
You mentioned the being homeless,
Mhm.
and I was told to ask for the story of you asking Kouvr to come to California, and then learning that you were homeless.
Such a red flag too. Whenever I tell this story, I hate telling the story, only for the mere fact that everyone's like, "What an asshole!" Yeah, I was kicked out. I did not have a place to stay, and I may have alluded to the fact that I did have a place to stay, and I told her to move
Stop.
out to live with me.
Oh, it was move out. It wasn't just visit. It was like come here.
We talked about moving in together, and I'm like, "Why don't you just come out for a little bit?" So
Yeah.
in my head, she's moving in. She did, like whatever. She comes out, and I go. I pick her up from the airport in my Volvo beater car that Biggs got me, which is the guy who shot me, and I go. I've been sleeping in this.
Which the guy? Sorry, sorry.
Sorry,
The car. Which the guy that shot me got me, but.
Um, yeah, honestly, I say that so nonchalantly, but that is a random sentence to
Right.
come out of someone's mouth.
Like if someone was reading just the pure audio of that line, they'd be like, "Wait, what?"
I'm sleeping in the car that the guy who shot me got me.
Yeah, that's a bar. No, and she was so cool about it. At first, she was like, "Oh, ha, ha," and I was like, "No, I'm sleeping in this, like, whatever." But I think it's the idea that like we didn't know what was going to happen. I think she like, and I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because I don't think she's as crazy as I am, where she's just like, "Okay, yeah, fuck it, let's do it." But I genuinely think she had some money saved up. She wasn't ill prepared for this. She's a very smart girl. I think inevitably, if it didn't work out, she could have just flew home.
Yeah.
But it ended
That's
up
funny.
like we were doing it for 4 months, dude.
Really?
She stuck around for that long.
The two
she,
of you
she
are
spent
living out of
all
this
the
car.
money. Like I think she saved up $500, and after that, we'd go to In-N-Out every day, and our meal was $5, and like we would get water cups instead of sodas and stole. It was so fun, and I say this to this day. One of the highlights of my entire life was doing that with Kouvr.
Wow.
And we had it lucky. Like it wasn't like I was sitting on the side of the road begging for money, in which I really did have it lucky, like in my situation. But I knew it couldn't get any worse. I couldn't be more broke. I couldn't be all these things. And so every single day I woke up and it was just, what are we doing today? Like I felt free. I didn't have to worry about my mom. I didn't have to worry about anything. It's just you and me. Nothing else can stop us. What are we going to do with our lives?
Mm.
And so we were just running around having fun, filming our little videos on my phone, and like literally like just funny, cute videos. Then we were posting them to Instagram as Instagram videos. Reels wasn't a thing. TikTok wasn't a thing, and randomly started doing really well. And I was like,
Wow.
holy cow. And I just remember like waking up in the car one day and I look and one of our videos had 100,000 views. And I was like, we're famous.
Wow.
I know. And then started getting paid from brand deals, and then TikTok started doing really well. It was Musically at the time, started doing really well for me, and I would go live, and it just slowly built and built and built, and then we created the Hype House.
Jeez.
But yeah, red flag. I did do that.
Oh my gosh.
That is so amazing.
I would like
though.
to say that I regretted it, but I don't think I'd be here today with her. So
Right.
Yeah.
everything happened.
What kind of support system has she been for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I genuinely, I say this a lot, and I think like some people view it as unhealthy, but I genuinely could not do half these things without her. Like I don't even like traveling without her.
Yeah.
Like it's just something where it's like I feel like she's gone for the weekend. The girls took her up to Big Bear to like for a bachelorette thing,
Oh.
and like we within our 6 years of dating or being together, the only time we've ever slept apart was once I went on tour for a week.
Wow.
And then she flew out to sleep in a tour bus with me.
Wow.
Mm,
We just don't like being apart. And like, I think it's because we're so close. Like, she's
Yeah.
my best friend.
Yeah.
That it's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand life without her, if that makes sense. Which is like so, ooh, like whatever. But like, it genuinely, like, she's so sick. And what's funny is I just wrote my first love song the other day. I've
No.
never written one before because it's like, I don't want it to be cringy and just, I wrote a wedding song and I really am happy with it. I'm going to show you. You're going to like it.
No way.
oh
It's
my
sick.
gosh. I was gonna ask if there's like Kouvr song.
Yeah,
Coming.
I'm playing in the wedding.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Like after the first dance, everyone comes on the floor and dances. It's going to be cool.
Wow.
Oh, your
That's
guys'
amazing.
love is really sweet. And
I
it's just
like how
like
we don't have to try. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing, especially in this town. I feel like a lot of people do. And it's like, bro, we could sit there and watch TV and have our dogs on the couch and order in some sushi. And it's literally like, it's like that all the time. We don't have to entertain each other. We don't have to do all these crazy things. And
Yeah.
it's just easy.
It's
Yeah.
really special.
I love that. You guys just give that energy too. I feel like that
Mhm.
comes across in person, obviously, but like even in your videos too. Like you just like there's definitely some like cringy things or people that are a couple and like they try really hard on
Sure.
social media, and I feel like it like comes across that you guys are
You
just
guys
like
are just
so like organically and authentically yourself, and you like each other. And
Hell
you
yeah. I'm glad it comes
loves-
off that way because I think it's cringy as fuck.
No. You guys are awesome. We love you. Okay,
Okay. Lemon 7.
lemon 7.
Lemon 7.
All right. We'll finish here with lemon 7.
I love lemons.
Okay. Number 1.
Okay.
What movie or song title best describes your mental health today?
Oh, shit.
He's like, this isn't as easy
I can't
as
use any of my song titles. They're all depressing. Oh, no.
movie or song title.
This is one of the things where like name a movie and I can't even think of one.
I just said that the other day in an interview. They were like, "Who from Friends?" I was like, "I don't remember anyone's name."
Dang. Honestly, I would say like if I would go TV show, I genuinely think like Friends right now is my mental health. Like my main focus right now with everything happening in my life and all these cool things happening with music recently. It's been so cool to like kind of hang out with my friends while I can and not be on tour. So I think like right now I've just been focusing so hard on like being there around them. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to miss them when I'm gone, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That is where I would describe my place right now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Your support system feels
Dude,
very important to you.
so
and,
cool.
and you really have so
I
many
hit the
great-
lottery with that. They're
great
all so
people.
great.
I love that. It's so important. Number 2 is how open are you with the people in your life when struggling?
See, the problem is I think people know I'm struggling before I do.
Mm.
That's like the biggest thing, especially because like I don't necessarily know how to like write it off.
Yeah.
But like when I go into a session, I start talking about it, like all the things that are happening. Like I'm going at it in a lyrical sense of like I'm just like, oh, this is what's happening, and like the same way I'd be like, oh, I was shot, and like the car I got, and whatever. Like that's how I just talk about everything that's ever happened in my life because
Yeah.
that's kind of like this is the first time in so long where I've actually sat down and like thought about it. But most of the time I'm just like, oh yeah, and so this happened to me. My friend died, and then we were talking about like, and I want to make a song like this. So
Yeah.
they typically know before I do, and then I'm like, oh shit, yeah, maybe I should slow down and think about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever gone to therapy?
No, I have a really bad relationship with therapy.
Mm.
My
How so?
mom would go to therapists, and every single time they would be like, you're the problem. You know, your son is just doing what he thinks he should be doing, until she found a therapist who would tell me I was the problem. And then she's like, I love that therapist. And so I don't necessarily have a
Mm,
fantastic relationship with therapy because my mom weaponized it.
yeah.
But I feel like songwriting for me is therapy. I'm
Yeah.
talking to people who care about me and writing down my feelings, and they get to ask me how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
And I
you?
also think I have such a cool support system that, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
That's
the fact
interesting.
is there's so many different
Yeah.
therapy can look different
yeah.
for each person and in so many different ways. So it's like,
I think it's so important for, like, eventually I think I will. I think when I go on tour, because I hear that's really, like, mentally draining.
right.
I just feel like right now I have such great people around me that, like, when I'm on tour, I'm going to be alone. And that means I'm going to be alone with my thoughts. And I
Yeah.
think that's something kind of like, definitely, I think I'll have to, like, take up therapy. I just haven't been alone. I haven't been alone in so long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've never lived alone ever in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
once I got kicked out, I guess for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I was alone, and then Kouvr came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It'll be important for you to prioritize that when you're gone.
yeah, I think I just haven't had the chance to actually, like, be alone with my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be very curious too what like what if you do end up doing it, what that therapist would say about, about why you're not a fan of it makes a lot of sense. I
Sure.
would not be a fan of, if I was in your position too, but I wonder what they would say just about that and like what advice they would give you
Mm.
for that or how to
I feel like out of
cope with
pure
it. But
curiosity, I would too.
yeah, though I'm just strictly curious from a medical standpoint.
But I
'cause
feel like they're
that's-
like chiropractors. You have to find the right one.
For sure.
You do. Yeah. That's something that because we both go to therapy and it's, it's been helpful for us.
Yeah.
But we also have friends that, they've gone through like 4 therapists and they're like,
Yeah.
I need a good one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's always our advice is like, if you think that that's the route that you need, then like, don't give up just because like you haven't, it's almost like
Yeah.
dating in a way. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you don't just,
Well, songwriting is like dating too. Like, you have
Mm.
to think I'm put in rooms with different writers every day. Like, every day I walk into a room and there's different people, and then I just start spewing all this random shit about everyone I've lost and
Yeah.
all these things. And these are the songs I want to write. And I already started this one. And I tend to go with people, like, I write a lot of songs with people who have lost parents or lost someone in life. So it's like
Mhm.
really cool because they understand what I'm writing about and then can
Yeah.
relate to it, and we have conversations about it.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of where it is. Like, I get shoved into rooms with different people every time, and we decide whether or not it was a vibe and if we can be creative together or not. So
Wow.
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah. It's cool that you're able to like be that open about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people aren't.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the difference between you and your brother too.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. I feel like this is going to be a hard one for you. I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
Maybe it'll be easy. If you could only follow 3 social media accounts,
Okay.
cross platforms, but only 3 accounts,
Okay.
what would they be?
Kouvr.
Okay.
Taylor Lautner. Taylor Lautner.
I made it.
Yes.
I was
Good
I
answer.
was the second name he said. I was the second one.
Okay.
He said
I
he's
was the third.
Third, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He meant this Taylor Lautner first.
Okay.
Or second first.
I'll let you guess.
Number 4 is, what is your favorite form of self-care?
I love ice bath.
You
and-
do.
And
Mhm.
sauna. Yeah. I take a cold plunge in sauna every day.
Oh.
You swear by it? Like the cold plunge, does it?
Dude, I can eat whatever I want when I do it. Like, I haven't done it in like a week, and my back hurts and my feet are like, I run a lot. And so like,
Oh.
that's like, I run like 3 miles every day, and then I go
Wow.
sauna and cold plunge, and I haven't done that in I've just been so busy. So like,
Wow.
now I'm feeling the fact that like my back hurts, my legs hurt. I'm not like
So
healing as
recovery.
fast. Yeah.
Wow.
It's fantastic for recovery. Also, like, if you sauna at 175 degrees for 15 minutes I think it's every day or 3 times a week, you reduce your risk of heart attack by like 70% or something. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Wow, 175. That feels hot.
I do 230. You get used to it.
Yeah.
But also you have to think you're sitting. So like all that temp is at top.
Uh-huh.
So like
Yeah.
when I'm sitting in 230, it's actually probably like 200, but still.
Wow.
You do that for like 25 minutes. Also, you coming out of a 37-degree bath. So like it's
Yeah.
going to take a while for your body to get hot.
Oh, you do them back to back.
Yeah.
Wow.
I shock my body.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so good for you.
I love it.
physically and mentally too.
It's so fun.
His best friend is like addicted to cold plunging
It's
because
It's like the runner's
life-changing.
high. When you get out of it, you're so energized. You have like, you just feel good. You feel warm and you feel good.
Yeah.
And also I haven't had brain fog in so long
Yeah.
because of it.
He says, and he's like, I mean it when I say it. It's changed my life.
It's crazy. It is really crazy. That and red light therapy, if you've ever done that stuff's crazy too.
Wow.
It is nuts. But I know you don't like cold, but just do cold enough. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like 44 could even do it. Like sometimes 50 does it for some people. For me, like I grew up surfing in 50-degree weather, so I have to go 37 for it to actually like do
Wow.
something to me.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I was telling him when we were like teetering it for a bit. I was like, we can just like jump in the pool and like
Yeah.
you could like start there. That's cold.
How
Yeah.
long do you stay in?
3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
You shouldn't do more than 10.
Yeah.
This is how it works. Like, so benefits. Once you hit 10 minutes, everything after is just terrible for you.
Yeah.
You never want to do too much in either of them.
Yeah, he does. My friend Jason does, I think, typically 4.
Mhm.
What?
It
I
just
was
depends.
just-
It
I was
depends on
gonna
what
laugh.
temperature you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
The
what it is.
colder, the less time you should do.
I don't think he's in the 30s. 30s.
The
seems
average
crazy.
is 42 to 44.
Okay. Yeah, that
37
feels
is like, you have to think, isn't freezing 36, 35?
It's 32.
Is it 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
the coldest mine goes is 37. So I literally max it out.
yeah, I mean, that's close to freezing.
Frio.
Yeah.
Not frio.
Muy frio.
Muy.
Is it me?
It is you.
Okay. Number 5. What would you say is the most misunderstood thing about you?
I think a lot of people think I'm depressed because of my music. So maybe that.
Makes sense.
I'd think I was depressed if I heard this. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm so chronically online is the problem. So I think it's very hard to misunderstand me because I kind of put everything out.
Yeah.
Maybe the one thing is like I think people think I like Snapchatting my entire life. That's probably one of the things I hate the most.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
think it's also like it's really fun to kind of show people perspective because I think the music industry is such a business that no one shows.
Yeah.
Like it's very much like you never see anyone in the studio making music. You kind of just see the project and then
Glitz and
they
glamour side of it.
they go away and like they're kind of like mysterious. Like you kind of like, oh my god, they're ethereal. They're not even real people. And I'm just like, my dumbass is in a studio fucking playing hacky sack, writing songs about dead people. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I like it, and I also hate the fact that I kind of Snapchat my entire life because there's nothing like private about my life.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Number 6 would be who has had the most positive impact on your mental health?
Definitely Kouvr.
Yeah.
Like especially when I lost my mom. Like I was just, it's cool. It's cool to go through loss and know you have someone. I think it's just yeah. I don't think I can do half these things without her.
Last question. Number 7.
Oh no.
If you could go back to one moment in your life, what moment would that be? And what would you say to yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard. I don't think I'd say anything. Like I genuinely don't think I'd do it. Because I think if I knew it would have been okay, I don't think I would have endured as much, and I also don't think I would have learned as much.
Yeah.
It's like if I had the option not to do it, like if I had the option to do it, I would choose not to.
Right.
It would be my cool non-answer answer. My easy answer is you'll be okay.
Yeah. I love it. It's a great answer.
That is a good answer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Been thinking about it for a little bit.
Well, thank you for joining us.
This is fun.
It was it was an honor to have you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I get all giddy when you say shit like that. Keep complimenting me, Taylor Lautner. I found out it was Lautner, not Lautner.
I know.
I said no way. Taylor Lautner threw me on his story, and Lexi goes, "It's actually Lautner."
So
I
funny.
love it. I was like, no fucking way.
I know.
You
It's
could
all
say-
my fault.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
But
I trust me. 90% of people call me Taylor Lautner. Sometimes I say it myself. I just like never corrected anybody.
Mhm.
So then it just became, and then recently I started like, I don't even know what, but like sometime recently something happened, and now
honestly,
everybody
maybe
like,
it was because of this, because we like
yeah,
say our last name so much. Maybe that's how it
maybe,
researched.
yeah.
I love it. I
I'll
also love
be-
how everyone always asks you guys, so what's it like both being Taylor Lautner? when you have Amazon packages, what is that like? I feel like everyone asks you that.
It's a good bit. Yeah,
They do.
yeah,
They do. They do.
yeah.
That's so funny.
It is.
You go by
Yeah.
Tay.
Yeah. Yeah.
anything.
I went by Tay before him.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of just stuck. We mainly do girl tay, boy tay. That is like the big thing of our friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's always boy tay and I'm always girl tay.
Or sometimes they just call us girl and boy.
What's up, girl? What's up, boy?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Even when we're not together, that's our names.
I love it.
Well, we love you, buddy. Thank you
Yeah.
for being here.
Thanks for having me. This was sick.
Woo!
What a fun time.
Thank you, Alex, for all of that. We love you and are just so thankful that you were, vulnerable enough to share your story with each and every one of us. You are an inspiration, and I will continue listening to your music till the day I die.
Yeah. Taylor from Michigan.
Taylor from Michigan.
Streaming all of
Big
his.
fan.
Big fan. As always, be sure to subscribe or follow so that you guys don't miss any of our episodes. You can follow us at The Squeeze Podcast on TikTok, at The Squeeze on Instagram, and email us at lautner.thesqueezepodcast@gmail.com. Any guest recommendations, anything you guys want to hear us talk about, anything that's on your mind that you're feeling you want to share with us. But we love you guys so much, and we will see you next week for another exciting episode.
Toodaloo.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.